And hello. We are back once again in the Whispered Woods. I am your host, Michaela Maria Whisper, and we have us a fun little show scheduled that I'm actually making sure to record ahead of time. It's amazing what happens when you use your brain. But, getting into it, welcome back to Draft Diaries, Season 7. Let's go. And this is versus Mr.T Part 2. If you missed Part 1, it was a pretty solid win with Calyrex doing a lot of work and once again proving why I spent so much money on it. But here's Part 2. So, we're up against Mr.T once again, as I said. This will still be a doubles matchup as he is also a doubles trainer, so both of them get to be fun. And this time we have a little bit of a funny idea. So, let's begin. We have Melancholy Hill, the Espeon. Leftovers, Magical Bounce, Stored Power, Calm Mind, Morning Sun, Draining Kiss. Max Special Attack, Max Speed. Yeah, we're going for a Stored Power sweep today. I have been made fun of a lot on the server for getting Stored Power swept, so I wanted to put the shoe on the other foot. First up, in ensuring this happens, Oh No, the Lucario. Citrus Berry with Inner Focus, Max Attack, Max Speed with a Jolly Nature, Follow Me, Close Combat, Blaze Kick, Meteor Mash. Mostly there to just absorb hits and do what it needs to do, but also it can pop out some damage and take something out of the game, just because Lucario hits that hard. Say It Right, the Amoonguss. We got Black Sludge, Regenerator, HP Fire, Rage Powder, Pollen Puff, Spore, with a very bulky set mostly focused in special attack and HP. Again, same thing as Lucario, mostly here to absorb damage and make sure that Espeon gets to do its thing. Red Lips, we have Light Clay, Prankster, Reflect, Parting Shot, Taunt, Dazzling Gleam. This was just to make sure that I was able to get enough support, because my physical is not as good as my special, so I wanted to have a little bit of extra segue there. Smooth Operator, King's Rock Technician with Fake Out, U-Turn, Acrobatics, Fling. So the idea there is I can hit the Fake Out, get a guaranteed flinch, use the Fling, get rid of the King's Rock, get another guaranteed flinch, and then Acrobatics is online. I got 252 attack with 252 boosted speed. Pretty normal for me. It was a little interesting piece of tech one of my friends recommended. And then, like a love song, the Torterra. Loaded Dice, Shell Armor, Stealth Rocks, Wide Guard, Rock Blast, Trailblaze. We went for a bulkier set with max HP and max attack with an Adamant Nature. I have a soft spot in my heart for Torterra because it was my first ever starter, so let's go. So, let's get into the actual gameplay. So, looking at Mr.T squad, he brought Sirfetch'd, Hisuian Lilligant, Umbreon, Zoroark, Charizard, Mawile. That Charizard is in fact Mega. Now, while Mr.T is not the person who we did the trade with, this is the same team we did the trade with to give Mega Charizard, meaning this is Mega Charizard Y. And seeing as it's next to Lilligant, I can very assuredly assume that that is going to be the opening lead, and that is actually why we built our Torterra the way we did this week. So let's get a look. So, Charizard and Lilligant next against Ambipom and Torterra. This is exactly what I assumed would happen, at least the leads. This was the... For me, I always assume you're leading these two because they're such a dangerous combo together, because they deal with what the other one can't so well. So, switches out Charizard into Mawile, gets the Intimidate off. I go for the Fake Out to prevent it from killing me. Close Combat does unfortunately take out Ambipom. And Rock Blast. So, hypothetically here, if he doesn't switch out, he just immediately loses Charizard without doing anything with it. In hindsight, there's a very real chance that I should have thought about it and went for the Fake Out on the Lilligant, but I was very much dedicated to taking Charizard out because Charizard felt like the biggest threat here. So, Our Rock Blast goes off, Amoonguss comes out. He goes into Umbreon, I go for the Rage Powder. I forgot that grass types are immune to Rage Powder. So that's my fault. But the close combat connects with Torterra. I get my Stealth Rocks up. Goes for another close combat. Doesn't quite take out Torterra. Goes for Yawn on Amoonguss. I get my Trailblaze to get up some speed. And HP Fire takes Lilligant down to its Sash, which is the exact reason we ran HP Fire, and it was so nice. Alright, so Lilligant protects here. Rock Blast will not do anything because of that. Foul Play does take out my Torterra. I go for Espeon. I get Reflect up, I get Calm Mind up. He goes for After You, hits Taunt into Morgrim. Charizard comes in, takes its 50. We went for a Protect. I went for another Calm Mind and Dazzling Gleam. He goes Mega, gets the Sun up, goes for the Sleep Powder. I have Magic Bounce. Stored Power takes out Charizard. Dazzling Gleam takes out Lilligant. Umbreon, Surfetched. I go Terra Fairy. Draining Kiss takes out the Umbreon. So, for the sake of explanation, obviously we see the Surfetch'd using Dark Pulse, revealing that it's actually Zoroark, but obviously Umbreon is a Dark-type Pokemon, meaning stored power can't affect it, which is the whole reason I had Terra Fairy Draining Kiss, was to deal with either one of these two, and it ended up being exactly what I needed. So, Dark Pulse hits, resisted now. I take it out with a Dazzling Gleam from Morgrim, which is really funny to think about, and the taunt ends. Then we go Mawile, Surfetch'd. Intimidate goes off. Cool. Stored Power does less than half to Mawile. Dazzling Gleam does a decent chunk. Close Combat does get the critical and takes out my Morgrim. And Knockoff does a little bit and gets rid of my leftovers. Lucario comes in. Stored Power takes out Surfetch'd. Close Combat takes out Mawile. And like that, we get a 3-0 victory. So, there wasn't as many major lessons this time. I definitely want to give myself at least a little bit of credit for being able to predict his leads pretty accurately and having a good backup plan in place. So, the idea with this week was both to get the stored power sweep off, because I thought I could, but I also just wanted to try experimenting a little bit with how I handle things. So, like, Torterra helped with a lot of what I was trying to do, where I want to have enough possible threats that it's harder for my opponent to fully counter it. Lucario, even without a Life Orb, can end up snowballing into a bunch of KOs. Espeon's a really good support Pokemon, and with the way I had it, it can snowball. Amoonguss didn't get to do too much, but it did get to put in some work this week. And Morgrim actually did a lot better than I expected with getting some KOs. Ambipom was a little bit of a disappointment, but that's also on my end on how I played it. Because the problem was, even though I predicted my opponent's moves, I still fell into the trap of him switching. If I had played that differently and a little bit better, I could have avoided a lot of the pitfalls there and probably got away with 1 or 2 less KOs, which would have helped my differential a lot. But a win's a win, and honestly, I'm still proud that we were able to start coming back here, because the team, I still think this is a really good team. And I'm happy I'm finally getting to show off some of the fun stuff with it. And hopefully it gets to keep on being more fun. Can tell you right now, the next battle I haven't done it yet, but I do have a fun strategy planned out with some of my Pokemon. Here's a hint. Kingdra's finally getting off the bench. But you'll have to see about that the next time when we take a walk through the woods. So, until then, my name will be Michaela Maria Whisper, and arrivederci.